of Scotland. It is Aberdeen against Dunfermline with Willie Miller and Liam McLeod.
The first of a double header in the Scottish Cup 5th round this afternoon, and here in the northeast as the Aberdeen and Dunfermline players make their way up towards the halfway line. In front of us, the Jimmy Calderwood banners are being held aloft. "Stand free, Jimmy," it says in the beach end, and in the away section over there, the black, white and red "Oh Jimmy, Jimmy" banner right at the front of the Pars supporters. He'd a great couple of spells at both clubs, took Dunfermline to the final of this competition, and of course he was, as the man himself mentioned more than once, the fact was it was Henrik Larsson's last game as a Celtic player. He scored twice, did the Swede, in that match, despite the fact Andreas Skerla gave the Pars the lead in that final. It was the Larsson show, which was unfortunate for Dunfermline and for Mr. Calderwood, who would come to the northeast and brought back respectability to the club. There's no question about it. As far as league positions are concerned, as far as European football was concerned, it was those bitter cup defeats during his time at Pittodrie that marred what was otherwise an excellent spell when Aberdeen had been in the doldrums under Skovdahl and then Patterson. And down there we see the two captains, Sivert Nielsen for Aberdeen today, with Graham Shinnie and Nicky Devlin both left on the bench. And Kyle Benedictus, who's the armband for Dunfermline. Michael Tidser down there exchanging handshakes with Jimmy Tillene. Won his first couple of league games in charge, but suffered his first defeat during the week as they were knocked out of the Challenge Cup by Livingston. This is the 13th meeting between these two in the Scottish Cup. Aberdeen have won 6 to Dunfermline's 2. It's the first time since 2011 they've met in this competition. A late Neil McGregor own goal put Aberdeen through at this stage at Pittodrie. Dunfermline won the meeting in 2009, which went to a replay here after a 1-1 at East End Park. Dunfermline went through on penalties. Aberdeen then Duan in goal, Jensen, Tobers, Canuster and McKenzie, Palaversa, Nielsen, Keskinen, Gay and Ockles and Nisbet. Dunfermline, Oluwayemi in goal, Comrie, Chiloka, Mullen, Benedictus and Chalmers, with Hamilton, Otu, Stevens, Wotherspoon, McCann and Chris Kane leads the line, former St Johnstone striker. Dunfermline will kick off in their black pinstripe, white shirts, white shorts, white socks, going left to right towards the red shed, Merkland Road end. Aberdeen all in red with white flashes, and that ball from the Pars goes all the way through to Ross Doohan. I just wonder, Willie Miller, how much pressure Jimmy Tillene will be putting himself under this afternoon for a cup tie at home to lower league opposition.
Well, I think lots of pressure you would put yourself on or under rather, but you know, I think one thing that you can't do is let it overwhelm you. You know, you've got to be calm and be concentrated in the job in hand, and the job in hand this afternoon is to get into the next round of the cup, into the quarter-finals last 8. So, you know, it's a big it's a big test for Aberdeen today. It's a test that they should be good enough to stand up and embrace, and it's a test that they certainly should be coming out at the end of the day on top of.
Well, they've gone 6 home games without a win, Aberdeen. That's the first time since January, February 2010. If they don't win this one, I mean, all kinds of issues would arise from not winning this match this afternoon, but having gone 7 home games without a win since going 8 without one between November 02 and February 03, during that period in the doldrums I mentioned earlier on. Shot to nothing really for Dunfermline as Nielsen picks up and knocks it into the centre circle, and Alexander Jensen picks up on the far side, playing on the right hand side. He is more than adaptable, playing midfield too, as well as the 2 wing-back positions. And now it's Canuster, first real feel of the ball in an Aberdeen shirt for him, and he goes back to Doohan, and now it's with Tobers. Finds Canuster to his left, little dink ball up towards Ockles, tries to touch it back to Gay, but just flicked away to safety there by Hamilton, and out it goes on this near side for an Aberdeen throw-in, which Jack McKenzie will take. He's going into the final few months of his contract. Mackenzie's thrown, he gives it away in possession, and then it comes back to Canooster, who can only turn it out under pressure from Chris Kane, and that's going to be a throw-in to Dunfermline on this near side. They're up the pitch here, and Comrie is over it, about level with the Aberdeen 18-yard line on the main stand side as they attack the goal to the right. And it's Dunfermline number 2, another former St Johnstone player, gets it back from Hamilton. Then shifted infield there to Archie Stevens, the all-known Rangers player. The cross comes in. Looked like it might have been a foul there. Indeed it was. It was Papi Gay went flying into the challenge down below us, and that's going to be a Dunfermline free kick, level with the edge of the D, as they attack the Aberdeen box here. And Hamilton bundled to the ground by the big Aberdeen attacker. And this is an opportunity here, and we know the quality that David Wotherspoon possesses in particular. He's standing over this free kick alongside UNO2.
There's no doubt it was a free kick. Papagay getting in really late there on Chris Hamilton, and you're right, Liam, a good opportunity early.
Wotherspoon with it, right foot. It's a good delivery, and the header's over the crossbar. It was a decent opportunity there. Chiloko Amullen attacked it about 7 yards from goal. He heads it over the crossbar. But the first opportunity in this cup tie goes to Dunfermline Athletic. It's nothing each. 3 in.
I always think as a defender and as a defensive unit, then the first cross into the box you've got to win, and Aberdeen nowhere near winning that one. You know, the Dunfermline centre back up well above everybody else, didn't get a particularly good header on it, but you know, early signs that defensively the concentration has not been there, and they've got 2 rather tall centre backs as well that should be taking care of that, Aberdeen.
Well, I mean, case in point, the first Hibs goal last week. Josh Campbell wins the first header, and Nectarios Triantis wins the second, and Aberdeen were behind and didn't look like ever recovering the position. As Nielsen picks up midway inside his own half, it's a long right-footed ball forward, which Benedictus heads forward to Hamilton. He started the game well and shifted out to Lewis McCann on the left, and now an opportunity down the left flank for Dunfermline perhaps to attack again. It's shifted into the middle of the pitch there for Kane, who finds Hamilton, who flicks it out to Stevens on this near side, and sliding in is Mackenzie to put it out for a Pars throw-in. It's been a really bright start by the visitors, this.
It has, you know, and they've got plenty men forward, plenty bodies forward. You know, in fact, you know, as we set up here at the back of the main stand, you're looking to the right-hand side, and it's all about the white jerseys. It's all about Dunfermline at this moment in time. Aberdeen really need to try and get a foothold, keep the ball for a little spell, take the sting out of this really positive start from Dunfermline.
They're sitting 10th in the championship, are Dunfermline, and Michael Tidser eventually, after some protracted negotiations, took over after James McPake's spell ended in December. Tobers flicks it to Canooster just inside his own box, left-hand side, and long ball up towards Kevin Nisbet. He gets the touch but just loses sight of it, and Wotherspoon emerges with the ball for Dunfermline on this near side. Nooster with a good challenge on Kane as it was slipped forward to him, and now Papi Gay rides the first challenge. He gets away from the second from Comrie. Early ball into the box, Keskin in, and his efforts kind of scuffed and held on to pretty calmly in the end by Oluwayemi, the all-known Celtic goalkeeper. It was good play by Papi Gay, and Keskinen, he just couldn't catch it flush, and it stays nothing each. 6 in just about. Yeah,
it was really good from Papagay, that's for sure. Keskinen, again, he's found himself in that position a number of occasions. Not an easy one to take, I would say. It pops up onto his left foot, doesn't get any real power or direction behind it. An easy one for the goalkeeper to take at the end of the day. But Papagay, you know, showing the quality that he's got and the pace that he's got, and also the vision. It was a very decent ball into the near post.
I think it was you, Willie, who was talking about Keskinen starting all the time, and perhaps the performances don't warrant a regular start, but I guess the transfer fee is what dictates that as well. Almost £1 million spent on Topi Keskinen to bring him to the club, so if you're outlaying that kind of figure for a club like Aberdeen, then you're going to start the guy more often than not, aren't you?
Well, of course, you've got to try to give him as much opportunity as you possibly can, but that's got to be repaid. It's got to be repaid by performances, and so far he's done okay. I wouldn't say it's been a bad start to his Aberdeen career, but he hasn't set anything in light. He looks as though he's a player that can do special things, but so far we've still got to see that end product.
Right, still only 21, Keskinen, Finland international. He hasn't had a break either. Played the summer calendar for Hieko Helsinki before arriving at Aberdeen. Similar for Sivert Nielsen, played the full calendar year essentially and hasn't had a break. They're both starting for Aberdeen today as McKenzie picks up a throw-in on the halfway line on this left-hand side. First start in over a month for Jack McKenzie. Bowls it forward to Nisbet. Back to McKenzie on the near side. He wins another throw-in as it bounces off Archie Stevens. It's bowled forward. McKenzie looking for a game, but Dunfermline have bodies in the way to get it clear, and then Chris Kane's foul just inside his own half. He's never been a prolific goal scorer, Chris Kane, but he can be a handful on his day. He caused Aberdeen problems plenty in the blue of St Johnstone down the years. As that ball's played all the way back to Oluwayemi. Dunfermline left disappointed. That last 4 Challenge Cup defeat to Livingston, it was a 2-0 loss during the week. That slipped out to the left-hand side for Joe Chalmers. Another really experienced figure, was in the semi-finals of this competition a few years ago in Cali Thistle colours. He goes out to play for a throw-in on the far side, and it will be Chalmers over it. Just inside his own half on the south stand side. Bowls it in field to Otu. Onto the halfway line, Nielsen gets onto it, forward to Nisbet, who goes down. The referee's trying to give Aberdeen an advantage, but he's going to bring it back for the free kick as it broke down ahead of them. This will be right of the centre circle, and Stephen McLean is the ref. And last time Stephen McLean was here, I mentioned it to Willie. As soon as there's one contentious decision, the Dons fans will be all over him because he's far from their favourite official. As Tobers rolls it to the left, and Canusta driving into the Dunfermline half. To the left for McKenzie, onto the touchline for Canusta, gets it back to McKenzie, works now to Jeppe Ockels on this left-hand side. His cross is cut out, Dunfermline trying to prevent the corner, and they've successfully negotiated that. They come away with it with Stevens, who wins the throw-in, at level the edge of the D of their own box on this main stand side.
Yeah, I think 10 minutes in, it hasn't been an electric start from the home side, that's for sure. You would have thought that Jimmy Tillene would be asking his players to make it really difficult early on in this game and try to get an early breakthrough just to settle everybody down, just to settle the fans and the players down, but that hasn't happened. They're slowly, getting to grips with the ball, and perhaps slowly, going to take control, but so far in the game, Dunfermline have looked very comfortable indeed.
They're knocking the ball about well. Of course, Michael Titzer's Kelty Hearts team knocked the ball about comfortably as well. He made the move across the kingdom to East End Park. Here come Aberdeen down the left with Ockels taking on Comrie. Comrie does well, just gets between the man and the ball and shifts it into his own penalty area for Chilokua Mullen. He joined on deadline day, straight into action against Livingston the other night as Papi Gay brings Hamilton to the ground, not for the first time in the match, and that's going to be a free kick to Dunfermline, the edge of their own box.
I would suggest that's about the easiest decision that the referee's going to have to make. It was a forearm smash into the back of, who was it that went into the back of Hamilton? Shearing me. He's got to show a little bit more composure. In fact, a lot more composure, Papa Gay there, giving that free kick away.
Incredibly, Dunfermline haven't been beyond round 5 since they reached the semis in 09. They beat Aberdeen on the way as Nisbet comes forward down the right-hand side. He's into the box, being held off. Still he has it with his back to goal. Fires it along the 18-yard line, looking for Ockels, cut out by Comrie. And now Dunfermline, roared on by that huge away support, come down the right flank here with Stevens. He's now midway inside the Aberdeen half, attacking the penalty area now. Taking on Canusta, gets the ball across, and Doohan holds on. It stays Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0. We played almost 11 and a half.
Oh, excellent play from young Stevens down the right-hand side there. Very brave. only had one thing in mind, and that was to take on the Aberdeen defence, and didn't have much support. They were coming late into the box. Eventually he has a strike at goal. It was easily taken by Doohan, but good positive play down this right hand side from Dunfermline.
Jensen's cross on the far side, cut out by Otto. It was out for a throw in to Aberdeen, midway inside Dunfermline territory. Jensen bowls it infield to Gay. Out to Jensen, first time cross with the right foot, diving header away by Benedictus. Nielsen will pick it up. He looks up, side football, low forward to Gay, back to Nielsen, little chip out to the right for Jensen, controls well, gets a cross in, too much on it for Nisbet, and it sails across to this near side, kept in play well by Ockles, and now it's with Mackenzie, low ball across it in the box, Keskinen's touch lets him down. He might get a second chance, not quite. It's leathered away up high into the air by Hamilton, onto the halfway line where Canuster's header forward is helped on its way by Nielsen, and it breaks to Hamilton, who dinks it forward looking for the run of Kane. Canuster gets it back to his keeper, and then Doohan rolls it back out to the new signing on this near side. And now it's a Doohan, the new striker Daba, incidentally not involved today. Not even sure he's in the city yet, trying to sort the paperwork out. They'll hope that he's available for the Dundee game next weekend.
That was a really good cross into the box, wasn't it, from Jensen? I'm looking at Nisbet, could have done a little bit better, could have made the run to the near post earlier.
Jensen finds Keskinen right hand side of the box, well blocked there by Benedictus, and the challenge from Jensen. It goes out for a Dunfermline ball. I think it's just a throw in, though Jensen did leave a little bit on the Pars captain, who's hurt himself over there. Alexander Jensen. Might well be a free kick that's eventually given here. I'm not sure, Willie.
I think so. It looked as though that was the case. It was quite a heavy challenge, and the linesman, because I felt it was a throw in the other way if it was going to be a throw in. So I'm imagining that it's going to be a throw in. I'm finding that a hard one to agree with, but there you go. Just seeing a little replay again, the cross into the box, and you just felt that, Nisbet just a little bit quicker, a little bit more anticipation, a little bit more of that instinct that he's undoubtedly got. He might have got his head on it.
Scored 23 goals in 32 appearances for Dunfermline, did Kevin Nisbet in his spell there. And equally impressive numbers at Raith Rovers. It was the spell at Dunfermline got him his move to Hibs. As Canuster picks up left of the centre circle, long ball switched out to the right for Jensen, who controls on the touchline, rolls it back to Tobers, the Latvia international captain. He's found Canuster, who rolls it well out to the left hand side. Mackenzie, low ball, first time into the box, is blocked by his own man Gay, and it just bounces off him and behind the goal kick. And it's Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0. And save for those 3 goals they scored against Elgin in the last round at Borough Briggs, Aberdeen haven't scored a goal from open play, Willie, since Topi Keskinen opened the scoring against Hibernian in December here. Yeah. The only other goal they've scored was that Nisbet free kick, which was kind of bundled into his own net by the Ross County keeper Amisa.
Yeah, and you could, I don't know when it was, but apart from that Elgin game, when was the last time they had a shutout as well? They haven't been defending properly, they haven't been scoring at the other end. It's just the recipe for disaster as a football team, isn't it? And that's why they've had that league run of 14 without a win. A totally depressing statistic. And this is an opportunity, and I think the players should look upon it as an opportunity to just go out and forget about the league campaign just for an afternoon, put everything into it, to get yourself into the last 8 of the Scottish Cup, and give them fans something bit of hope that this season is going to be an exciting one. It started really exciting, there's no doubt about that, and Jimmy Tillon seemed to have the Midas touch.
Canuster's just wiped out Kane, and the ref's going to bring it back, and there might be a yellow card coming here. There's certainly a free kick. Chris Kane, Canuster misjudged it, and actually if he hadn't brought Kane down, Kane might have been running in behind him, and Aberdeen would have been in bigger trouble.
Yeah, it looked a very awkward one, didn't it? It certainly looked a possibility of the yellow card coming out. You know, it was rather spectacular. Chris Gaine's okay, but it looked a nasty foul. But the referee, you know, Stephen McLean deciding to appease the fans and not give the new player the yellow card.
Two-time Scottish Cup winners Dunfermline, 1961 and 68 during their glory years, as they look to get to the quarters for the first time in 16 campaigns. It's a long ball into the Aberdeen half from the goalkeeper. Jensen gets onto it for the post. Palaversa can't control, but Nielsen wins it back, and Jensen crosses the halfway line and rolls it infield to Keskinen. Keskinen's going back the way, and you hear the groans from the Aberdeen supporters as that went back into their own half rather than forward. But Nooster's got it out to Ockles, who'll drive at the Dunfermline box on the left-hand side of it now, gets the low ball across. Cut out well there though, Chiloko Mullen. Now it's with Sivert Nielsen for Aberdeen, midway inside Dunfermline territory. Palaversa out to Ockles on the near side, gets it to McKenzie, back to Ockles, and then Gaine bounces off him. He can't control the ball right now. McKenzie picks up the scraps on the left. Still a chance for Aberdeen this. He rolls it back to Nielsen. Played almost 18 goalless minutes here at Pittodrie. It's back with Tobers, midway inside the Dunfermline half again. Palaversa rolls it out to Jensen, right hand side of the box. Then Keskinen, as he won the corner. Eventually, that's where the linesman points. Despite the protests of Kyle Benedictus, who thought it was a goal kick, and it was almost like the linesman was waiting for Stephen McLean to tell him whether it was a corner or a goal kick before he pointed to the quadrant. Yeah,
it was uncertain, so you know, in that case you allow the referee to make the decision. But a good spell from Aberdeen. They're keeping Dunfermline pinned back. They're looking dangerous in the wide areas, particularly down this left-hand side.
Palaversa, right-footed, out-swinging corner in front of the away supports, headed away at the near post. Jensen picks it up again over on that far side. And out to Palaversa. Fires it back to McKenzie in the centre circle. Short there to Papi Gay. Playing in the number 10 role today. Was the main focal point up front at Hibs last week from the start. It's now with Keskinen over on the touchline. Right foot cross comes in, it's not great, and it's eased away by Hamilton. And now Stevens picks it up under pressure from Nielsen, who brings him down, and that will be a Dunfermline free kick. It is Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0 at Pittodrie on 19 minutes.
Yeah, see that's an example of Keskinen and you know, a player that you spent a lot of cash on, and he's not under any pressure whatsoever. He's a wide player. He should be able to cross that ball into the box. He should be able to put it into, at very least, a dangerous position. I don't necessarily think that you're asking him to pick out a man. Put it into a dangerous area and invite your strikers to go and attack it. He doesn't do that, and he gives possession away.
The supporters paying tribute to Jimmy Calderwood today. He's one of a select band of managers that took Dunfermline to the Scottish Cup final. Jock Stein, Willie Cunningham, George Farm, Stephen Kenny, the others. Here comes Jack McKenzie for Aberdeen across the halfway line, rolls it out to Ockles on the left. Low ball in field to Nielsen, fires it forward to Papi Gay. He's got Jensen on the right hand side, that's where it goes. Jensen level with the 18-yard line. Again, it's too easy for Dunfermline to defend, really. Jensen, it was a telegraph pass. He was looking for a teammate and given away. It was Keskinen. Dunfermline get it clear into the Aberdeen half, and Knooster has it, and he squares it to Tobers. Side football forward to Keskinen. Two Dunfermline players around him, and Hamilton wins it back, but Keskinen puts it back in double quick time. He's driving forward, he's got Gay to his right, Nisbet to his left, plays it to Nisbet. You can't get his shot away. It's only half clear. Rifle for goal by Palaversa, but blocked. Well, there is a team playing with zero confidence in the attacking third. Here comes the cross from Knooster, then headed away by Chiloko Mullen. Aberdeen will come again. We'll get Willie's thoughts on that chance in just a moment, and what a chance it was. I mean, an early pass to Gay or Nisbet, or a shot himself is what he needed to do. In the end, he did neither, and he tried to pass to Nisbet when it was too late.
Okay, it's a strike himself, isn't it? Take the responsibility on. He does really well winning the ball back, but then he relinquishes the responsibility of taking the strike.
Chance here for Aberdeen's in the box. Almost fell for Nisbet, blocked. Chiloko Mullen gets it half away. Still Aberdeen come Keskinen, lovely skill. Nisbet there trying to get the ball out from his feet. Back to Jensen. It's blocked by Chiloko Mullen. And then Palaversa rifles it high into the Richard Donald stand with an effort that wouldn't have looked out of place in the Six Nations. It stays Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline 0 on 21.5.
Yeah, it's all very tight in there, Nisbet. You're hoping that from an Aberdeen point of view that he can get the quick feet and find the back of the net, and then Jensen gets the opportunity as well. But you know, in saying that, Dunfermline have defended the situation extremely well. You know, a lot of bodies there, you know, throwing their bodies on the line as well. Goalkeeper having a decent save too, and then Palaversa just blasting it over the bar.
Here comes Dunfermline. Kane, he's got it out wide right for Wotherspoon. He's got a bit of space to work in just outside the box. He shoots, is deflected by McKenzie, and Dunfermline have their first corner of the cup tie on 22 minutes, having survived up the other end. And really good defending by Jeremiah Chiloka Mullen, who, as I said, joined on deadline day, signed till the end of the season, and he blocked Jensen's effort, which was going towards that bottom left corner. Yeah, it was. You know, and I think instinctively, as a defender, you've got to, you know, read these situations, and when you're under pressure like that, it's in the box, it's very close counters in the box as well. You've got to just anticipate and make sure that you get that touch on it or that block on it. So really good defending, big opportunity, 2 opportunities for Aberdeen, but at the other end, corner to Dunfermline. And it comes to good delivery, but Nisbet heads it away in the 6-yard box, headed back into the area there by Joe Chalmers, but Aberdeen are able to get it clear. The goalkeeper's come a long way from home, midway inside his own half there. Toby Oluwayemi, but he's played it all the way through to his opposite number, Doohan. And now it's with Ockles on this near side. Now, a little chat with Dimi Mitov just before the game, and he reckons he might well be back for the Dundee game next week. At least he hopes to be. Aberdeen #1 keeper, as Nielsen picks up for Aberdeen halfway into the Dunfermline half. He looks up and pings the angled ball towards Jensen, flicked away by Chalmers. Jensen trying to see it behind for the corner. It's bounced off the corner flag, and Joe Chalmers gets it back and gets himself away from Jensen, but his pass is loose, goes straight to Keskinen. Now it's Nielsen, Keskinen to Jensen, right hand side of the box at the byline, pulls it back, blocked, and now Aberdeen do have a corner. Yeah, I mean, again, Jensen in the byline, you still feel that he's got to do better there. He's been pretty impressive. He's playing a very high line. He's been involved constantly down that right hand side, but you know, little intricate pass. I think it requires a better cross, there's no doubt about that. The quality just wasn't there when it was required. Outswinger from Palaversa, headed away the near post again. It's the same outcome last time he did that. Chris Kane gets it away not once but twice. The header from McKenzie, up into the air it goes, flicked on there by Canuster, but it breaks to Joe Chalmers, who clears with the left foot down that far side touchline. Chris Kane's upended, and that's going to go Dunfermline's way. The Aberdeen supporters aren't happy. It was Christer Tobbers who went in on Kane. There'll be a free kick to the Pars over on that south stand side, just inside the Aberdeen half. Yeah, I think Chris Kane's trying to take it down with his chest, isn't he? And Tobbers wants to go with it to try to make contact with his head. And I think it is a free kick. I think the referee's right in giving it. It's you know, it's not in a particularly dangerous position, and I think Tobbers just got to think a little bit more about the game rather than barging into the back of the striker. Aberdeen 7-time Scottish Cup winners, but not since 1990. As Dunfermline take the free kick, it's flighted forward, picked up over on that left-hand side by Lewis McCann, shifts it to the edge of the box for Stevens. McKenzie gets something onto it. Stevens has it. He's going to try and take on McKenzie here. Ockles comes back to help. Stevens gets it back to Hamilton. It breaks down, a misunderstanding with Comrie, and he passes it straight out of the pitch for a throw-in to Aberdeen on this near side. So goalless here at Pittodrie, the latest of the 5th round Scottish Cup ties to come. 3 o'clock kickoff, Rangers against Queen's Park, and then we're down to just the one tie, St Mirren host Hearts tomorrow night, live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. We'll have coverage of the game at Ibrox here later, and of course Scotland's second Six Nations match against the Irish as they look for a long overdue win over their cousins from across the water. and that one at Murrayfield, also live on BBC Radio Scotland this afternoon, a little later. It is Antti Palaversa for Aberdeen. Rolls it back into his own box for Tobers. He goes back to Duhan. Now Canuster. I have to say, well, even
looks okay.
Yeah. You're quite happy with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, good left foot. He's used the ball extremely well. Looks a confident player too. So far, I think he's looked pretty impressive. And Aberdeen, really taking control of the game now. What is it, 26 minutes in, and after that first 10-minute spell, they've really imposed themselves. Still don't look as though they're sharp enough or creative enough in front of goal, but if that can come, then you would feel that I wouldn't say easily win this game, but I think you could confidently predict that if they keep this pressure up, then they've got a good chance of doing that.
Toss from McKenzie. Dunfermline head clear through Hamilton. Kane helps it on its way, but his header goes straight to Jeppe Alkels on this near side. And in the 28th minute, at the Tawdry, no goals as yet. Tobers gets it through. Chance here for Keskinen to flick forward for Nisbet. It's blocked again. Dunfermline have defended well so far. It's Tobers for Nielsen. Now Palaversa. And then Canuster picks up left-footed, drifting the ball into the box. Not the worst delivery either. And Benedictus has moved to head it behind for the corner under pressure from Topi Keskinen.
Yeah, I think he meant to play it a little bit further towards the back post for Keskinen there. But you can see he's confident enough to get that ball down and to play telling passes, either along the ground or in that case, into round about the penalty area to allow Keskinen to go and challenge for it and eventually win the corner.
Palaversa in swinger this time. Keeper gets something onto it, I think, there, and it sails out to the far side. Jensen going after it. Slide challenge from Wotherspoon comes off Jensen. Lass is the assistant, and Dunfermline have a throw-in level with the edge of their own box over on the far side. The one thing you would say about Aberdeen, even when they were winning games, and they were winning lots of them, it must feel like an eternity ago for you, Willie, that they were winning all those matches, but they weren't starting games well, even then.
No, it was patchy, wasn't it? The number of games that they didn't start well in the first 45 minutes was poor, and then they turned it round in the second half. They brought on substitutes as well, Liam, and every time Jimmy Tillene brought on a substitute, he either made a goal or scored a goal. With that in mind, the first 11 games without defeat were good, but they weren't as good as what the results suggested, and I think the next 14 league games haven't been as bad as what the results have suggested, but as it goes on, then the confidence drains from the players as well, and results are required, and this afternoon would be one that can turn that around.
Yep, Alkels picks up on this near side after a good build-up play by Aberdeen. Alkels now attacking the box, gets the cross in, and it's a spectacular diving header behind for another corner by Chris Hamilton. It's a difficult little spell this for Dunfermline just in the last 5-10 minutes. Hanging on a little bit.
Yeah, Aberdeen on control of the game. Palaversa's out there. He certainly can deliver a vicious ball into the vault from corner kicks, and if he gets it right, really difficult to defend. He likes to just put it right on top of the goalkeeper and invite his players to go and try to win the ball.
Palaversa again, then down in front of the tunnel off to our left. So Aberdeen look to make the breakthrough. We're beyond the half hour now. With Stephen McLean sorting something out inside the box. There's big group of players towards the back end of the 6-yard box. And Palaversa bends it in. The goalkeeper comes and punches with both fists. Oluwayemi. Now it's Ockles back to McKenzie, into the centre circle for Jensen, into McKenzie. Back to his keeper again. Listen to that. McKenzie went back instead of forward. Duhan's long ball headed away by Benedictus. Picked up on the far side there, Lewis McCann. His brother Ali, of course, another one of those St Johnstone Cup heroes in 2021. He won the 2 trophies on offer. As Canuster goes back to his goalkeeper and Doohan clears with the right foot, chipped up towards the halfway line. Chalmers with a header. It's 2 attempts at that. It breaks to Palaversa on the far side, keeps it in play. Little ball infield to Nielsen, now forward to Papigay. He's got 3 ahead of him, rolls it to the right hand side for one of them, and Alexander Jensen. Low ball at the edge of the box, Gay goes down, the Aberdeen supporters claim penalty. The ref gives a corner only. Gay's helped to his feet by Keskinen. And Aberdeen have the latest in what's been a string of corner kicks over the course of the last 5 minutes or so. Nothing each though, it remains.
Yeah, dominating possession, both sides of the park, really. Don't think it's a penalty. There's a coming together, absolutely, and it will be checked and has been checked, but another corner.
Comes the corner from Palaversa. The header from Tobers is harmlessly wide of the left-hand side of the goal frame, and it will remain Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline Athletic 0. The Pars have come through Edinburgh City and Stenhousemuir to get to this stage. Mabudi and Todd got the goals in the 2-1 win against the capital side before Hamilton, Otto and McCann scored in the 3-0 win over Stenny in the last round. And that, incidentally, their only clean sheet in their last 12 games away from, well, actually in all competition. Last 12 games, that clean sheet against Stenhousemuir, the only one they've managed. But they're keeping Aberdeen at arm's length at the moment.
They are, but they've had to defend really well. They've had to be fully concentrated as well. You know, Aberdeen, 2 fullbacks, both fullbacks getting forward, but Jensen in particular has been really productive down that right-hand side. You know, his starting position is pretty far forward as well. Gives 2 centre-backs and midfield players that, you know, a target because they're struggling to pin them down. I think Jack McKenzie needs to do more down at this left-hand side. I think he's got to show the energy, the pace and the determination that he has got to hit the byline. He hasn't done that nearly enough. And of course, we've got to be more creative in the midfield. As far as Dunfermline's concerned, then, you know, they've just got to, you know, keep doing what they're doing just now. You know, defending well, Aberdeen, restricting Aberdeen to chances and look to get something, you know, on the counter.
Great battling in the midfield by Hamilton there, and he's got it out to the left for McCann, who's going to take on Tobers here. Otto is in the just inside of, he wants to utilise him, but Palaversa wins it back, and Aberdeen have it with Nisbet. Forward to Gay inside the centre circle. Now he's charging forward, but he shows too much of it there to Chiloko and Mullen. And Dunfermline have it back down this right-hand side with Archie Stevens, midway inside the Aberdeen half, taking on Mackenzie. We're knocking on the final 10 minutes of the first half here. Comrie picks up, sliding in Nielsen to put it out for a throw-in to the visitors on this near side. And Dunfermline looking to do some attacking here, and Aaron Comrie is over the throw. And down below us, we watch from the back of the main here. It's forward to Kane, gets it out to this near side. Mackenzie turns it out. And Dunfermline have a throw-in right up the pitch here, about level with the Aberdeen penalty spot.
Yeah, they're having too many opportunities, you know, after that first 10 minutes or so, where they were pretty productive and very forward thinking. They've been restricted somewhat. They've got plenty men forward for that throw-in, but somehow they managed to play it back to a centre-back, start all over again.
Yeah, it's switched out to Chalmers on the left. His ball forward's gone straight to Tobers. Jensen's been challenged by McCann, and Dunfermline have it back with Otto. Otto level with the Aberdeen 6-yard line, pulls it back, and Wotherspoon lashes it over. Well, he's got his head in his hands, David Wotherspoon, because he's got better quality than he's just displayed there as he fires it into the Merkland Road end over Doohan's bar. And when that fell to Wotherspoon, it's in a brilliant position for him inside the box, and he's more than capable of rifling home from there. Yeah,
he's not under any pressure whatsoever. He was so disappointed with the outcome of that strike, that volley. Otto doing extremely well down the left-hand side, looking up and cutting it back to him, picking him out. And really, you're expecting him to, at the very least, hit the target. He leans back, he goes with the left foot, he balloons it way over the bar.
Yemi Tellin was saying in his interview beforehand, Willie, that he was certain that there'd be more energy in the performance today than we saw at Easter Road last week, as he been Has he been as good as his word in that regard?
I think there is more energy, but I still think that there needs to be more, given by the players. And at times that energy's got to be calmed down a little bit too, to be able to create in and around the box. There's no doubt that they're dominating the game, but an opportunity here.
Keskinen's
good
gone
challenge.
down, yeah, but he's still got a second chance, plays it across, and it's behind for the goal kick. As he tried to get an effort on goal there. But Kyle Benedictus, I think it was, Willie, with the initial challenge there when it was looking like Keskinen was going to be running in on goal.
I thought it was. I thought it was a really good challenge. No doubt that he got the ball. Keskinen almost got a little break on it as well as it fell in front of him. But good defending from Benedictus. He got enough experience there. He dealt with it really well.
It remains 0-0 at Pittodrie, and it's Kyle Benedictus clearing low ball up the left-hand touchline. The challenge from Jensen on McCann, but Otto has it. Then back to Chalmers. His ball into midfield is given away. And now it's Tobers to Knustert. And out to McKenzie on this near side. Down the line for Ockles. To McKenzie, then to Knustert.
Yeah, Liam,
to Tobers.
Energy is a big part of the game, and I felt that it's kind of been lost a little bit in recent performances from Aberdeen. But the other part of it is when you get into the final third, you've got to calm yourself down. You've got to be more thoughtful. You're used to the ball, and that's what's let Aberdeen down for the vast majority of this season. To be honest, they need that quality, they need that calmness, and they haven't shown it. And Nisbet's got to get himself into the position, that instinctive position, to find the back of the net.
Jensen, Keskinen at the byline, dinks it back towards Gates, headed away, breaks to Palaversa. Thought about the first time shot, he eventually gets under control, rolls it to Keskinen to his right, then to Jensen, whose cross is cut out. Now it goes for a throw-in down by the corner flag on the far side for Aberdeen. It is 0-0 here on Sportsound, live on BBC Radio Scotland this Sunday afternoon. Scottish Cup 5th round. Just 3 places left in the quarters. Rangers, Queen's Park to come, then tomorrow St Mirren Hearts. Ockles, poor ball, straight to Otto. He clears to Wotherspoon, first time ball for Chris Kane, who's driving forward, he's on his own at the moment, waiting for support. Otto arriving now, Kane's it to hold it up on this near side. Red shirts have come back. Kane rolling it back down this near side for Comrie. Then into his own half for Chiloko Amullen.
You felt that Kane had to try and make an effort to find Otto. If I'm Otto and I've made that run forward and Kane doesn't try to play the ball into me, you've got to be raging, because it is a good breakaway. Kane's got plenty of time to look up. He must see Otto making that run, and it's a big chance, and he was quite happy to hold on to the ball and just run down the clock, perhaps take his time, when just a little bit more quick thinking, finding a midfield player. You never know, a chance might have came from it.
Palaversa has it, he plays it to Nielsen, flicks it with the outside of the right boot, now to the left, it's Jack McKenzie driving down this near side. McKenzie, good challenge though by Aaron Comrie. And then the chip ball forwards comes off the Aberdeen man last, and Dunfermline have a throw-in on this near side. Certainly this afternoon they've not looked like a side that has been struggling defensively this season. Dunfermline, they've been holding their own at the moment against, albeit an out of form, but top flight attack.
Yeah, they have. They've had plenty of bodies back there to produce a barrier that Aberdeen have struggled to break down. But Aberdeen haven't been the most creative team this season either, and they're showing that lack of creativity at times, because they've had plenty of the ball in the final third. But that final pass into the box, picking out a striker, whether it be Nisbet or whether it be Papa Gay, just hasn't been there.
It's not a great ball back to the goalkeeper there, and it's going to be cleared by Oluwayemi, who I'm sure wasn't thanking his teammate for that pass.
I laugh, but surely there is time to play the ball in the box, between centre back and goalkeeper. And I'll tell you what, that definitely wasn't the time to do it.
Some mixed fortunes. Dunfermline recently, that draw 3-3 with Falkirk, then beat Partick Thistle in Glasgow 4-1. Defeats at home to Ayr United. And Livingston during the week in the Challenge Cup, they did beat Raith Rovers 3-1. Excellent victory in the Fife Derby. Otto goes down. The challenge from Palaversa, and Dunfermline will have a free kick. And of course, in amongst all those results as well was a 3-0 defeat at Airdrie, who Willie watched yesterday at Dens Park down the road from here. Dundee eased through to the last 8. We are easing towards half-time here, 0-0, 41.5 on the clock. And Dunfermline have a free kick inside their own half in the centre circle. Kyle Benedictus is over it. Right-footed ball forward, long out to the left-hand side. McCann wins the header. Clear by Canuster out to that far side. The bouncing ball will go out of play for a throw-in for the visitors. And as ever, getting towards that kind of important period of the match as half-time gets ever closer. And any goal scored now could completely change the dynamic of this game of football.
It's very important. It's an important time for Dunfermline, and vitally important for Aberdeen as the throw-in comes in, and looks like it was on corner as well. So, you know, a good long throw-in from McCann. It's defended well, but corner's given away. So, you know, as it creeps towards half-time, then Dunfermline have got an opportunity.
These long throw-ins, I don't know how prevalent they were in your day, Willie, but long throw-ins in the box, if a team can't defend, why not bowl a long ball into the box?
Yeah.
We saw Hibs score their goal the other night at Somerset with that kind of tactic. So Aberdeen concede late on at Tannadice from a long throw. Short corner, taken to Stevens, rolled back the way to Otto, shoots, it's blocked. Breaks back here for Comrie, right foot crossings, poor, and it sails behind the goal for a goal kick, and it stays Aberdeen 0, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
Yeah, it's well worked. You know, you can see that's been trialled in the training field, and they're looking to get Otto onto the box as he's coming from the rear area, and he does, but you know, it is well blocked, but it's well worked from Dunfermline as well. A lot of thought getting into that, but nothing came of it, and Aberdeen, as well, you know, approaching that half-time, looking to get that breakthrough. Okay, back to Nisbet. He's got Jensen wanting it to his right. He didn't spot him though. It goes back to Palaversa. Out to Jensen. Low ball in field to Nisbet. Looks to get it back to Jensen, but he overhits the pass and he goes behind for the goal kick. Well, Kevin Nisbet just looks a shadow of the player who was banging the goals in for not just Aberdeen's opponents today, but at Hibs, in the national team. In fact, he got a Scotland call-up earlier this season because of injuries. I think it was Lawrence Shanklin who pulled out. But he just looks a pale imitation of what we've seen before. There's no confidence there at all. Lacking in confidence, I would suggest. You know, and how does a striker find that? It's by scoring goals, isn't it? And it doesn't really matter how you score them. It's just taking any opportunity. And he's had 2 or 3 opportunities. A little bit unfortunate, some good goalkeeping at times, and you know, other times maybe he should have done better, but this afternoon again it's that insipid performance. He's not really looking. I'm struggling to find, you know, what is his threat. His threat normally is in the box. He's got to try and rekindle that. So long ball, Keskinen's in behind here. We're in the final minute. Keskinen on the turn, shoots, blocked again. Chiloko and Mullen, another really important block from the youngster. And Tovers is wiped out by Kane, but Aberdeen have an advantage here with Jensen, who was down. The referee's going to give them a free kick here. Level with the bit between the penalty spot and 6-yard line. Over on that right-hand side. I don't think there's going to be stoppage time, so this is going to be the last act of the first half. And the score's blank at the moment, but can Aberdeen find the lead just before the break? So important for Dunfermline they don't concede here. Yes, it is, and you know, a couple of really rash challenges there. Well, it was 2 free kicks, but the referee allowed the first one to the advantage to be played. But you know, Aberdeen have got that advantage. They got the free kick wide on the right, and it comes. Gay's header, it's in. Papi Gay scores on the stroke of half-time. The free kick's excellent, but Gay won the header too easily from a Dunfermline point of view. But the Don supporters are not complaining because they've just nudged in front just before the interval in this Scottish Cup
fifth round tie. It is Aberdeen 1, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
It is a breakthrough, no doubt about that, and it's well taken by Papa Gay, but how he manages to get himself free, it's well delivered by Keskinen, and Papa Gay, decent movement. He's lost his man completely. He finds himself, just inside the 6 yard, or just outside the 6 yard box rather, and he's not going to miss from there. He's cool, he's calm, he gets full power on it as he bullets it into the back of the net.
Oh, that is a sickener for the Pars, who take centre, but that's the half-time whistle now. And that's made the Aberdeen supporters feel a lot better about things. It's been a tortuous couple of months for them. But Antti Palavers's free kick was on point, and Papi Gay's header was way too powerful for Toby Oluwayemi. And it's a massive goal. It's, as I said, it's a sickener for Dunfermline. They defended really well in that first half. Jamie Tillene goes out onto the pitch to have a word with a couple of his players, Canuster and McKenzie. But he'll be delighted with that, without question. The Dons had a couple of opportunities before that. Keskinen, Nisbet involved, and Dunfermline had one header from Chiloko Mullen which went over the bar. David Wotherspoon found himself in a good area in the box but rifled over. And it's Aberdeen who go in at the interval with the lead as they eye up a place in the quarter-finals of the Scottish Cup. Half-time at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
The Scottish Cup.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Where Scottish football lives. Previously in the Six Nations.
Ben White scores in the corner.
Non-stop action.
Everything you got. Hat-trick for Hugh Jones. Never stop.
Non-stop drama.
Scotland get victory here against this ever-improving Italian team.
Get all the news and exclusive interviews from the Championship.
The BBC Radio Scotland Rugby Podcast on BBC Sounds.
And catch Scotland against Ireland this afternoon.
Try!
Watch on iPlayer, listen on digital radio, or ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Scotland Extra.
It'll be coming up live in about an hour's time. That Six Nations encounter between Scotland and Ireland will be offering the choice of listening. You can carry on with the football, or you can watch listen into the rugby. Scotland against Ireland with Andy Burke and the team. So details on how to do that a little bit later. We'll also later at 3:30 have Rangers against Queen's Park live here on Sports, and the highlights from all the cup ties on Sports Scene tonight, 10:30 on BBC One Scotland. And then tomorrow night on the BBC Scotland channel, Scottish Cup Sports Scene, rounding off the fifth round, St Mirren against Hearts. And following that one, live, the draw for the quarterfinals of this season's competition. Aberdeen will be hoping to be there. They have taken a much needed narrow advantage right at the death of the first 45. We'll give Willie a few moments to catch his breath and gather his thoughts. Ian McCall is with us throughout the afternoon. Delighted to see he's been watching on the first 45 minutes there at the studio in Glasgow. Well, it was a long time coming. A real sense of relief, I guess, for the home side to have finally nudged in front, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think you could say they didn't deserve it. Yeah, I think at the top end of the field, they're lacking. They're lacking confidence. The good thing, Richard, is I think there's a very clear. You can tell what Jimmy Phelan's trying to do. It's a pretty clear way they've got of playing. Is it Canusters? The left centre back looks decent, but Kevin Nisbet looks. I don't know whether it's because he was out for a while with injury, but he looks completely devoid of confidence.
Yeah.
And Dunfermline will be absolutely gutted because McMahon's got to reach that ball earlier. I thought Janssen did really well. Jensen did really well in the first half. But as I say, a very clear way of playing. But the one thing I think, it was the first decent cross they put in, Richard. They got into so many good areas to cross the ball. I couldn't do many things when I played, but I could cross a ball. I didn't really need to practice it. You just knew how to cross a ball. A lot of the players now, they don't, but the first decent cross they got in, they scored the goal from. I think they've played okay. I do think there seems to be a real lack of confidence. I think they miss ball carriers when you play 4-2-3-1. I think one or two of your three behind the striker need to be ball carriers, and I don't think maybe it's
No.
a lack of confidence, but they certainly don't look as if that's their strong point. But they certainly deserve to be ahead.
Yeah, I mean, just in terms of the free kick, it was McCann, I think, who made the challenge, wasn't it? I mean, it was an absolutely dreadful attempt to. Not in terms of the viciousness of it, but as Carmack, the producer, was just pointing out to me, he says it's almost the worst attempt at a tackle he's ever seen in his life.
I'm not sure it was that bad, mind you. But I mean, if you look at the play building up, there was a rash challenge about 3 or 4 seconds before it.
Yeah.
But McCann was big favourite to get to that ball, and he should have got there early and put it out for a throw in. Concedes a free kick. It was just a silly challenge. You know, I think the boy started as a striker. He plays wide now, but it was your typical striker's challenge. It was mistimed. But again, you give Jensen credit because he wasn't favourite to get to that ball, and then they delivered their one bit of quality into the box. And it's a really good header.
So Papa Gay he'd been out for over 4 months, and he did have that purple patch back in August and September, and I mean that was a fairly trademark goal. I mean, as the boys said in the commentary, he's a giant, and he's certainly dominant in the air, but you feel he should have been put under more pressure there?
Yeah, I mean, I think he bounces. He does well. He bounces off the defender and comes out the way. And there's so much pace in the ball that, you know, he doesn't really need. All he needs to do is get his head on it. The defender's got to do better, but usually you have a striker coming away to go back in. He's actually bounced off the end, come out and got his header in there, and any contact was going to make it very, very difficult for the Dunfermline goalkeeper.
Yeah, because I mean it's straight down the middle of the goal, but there's so much power in it, I guess.
Yeah, because all the pace is on the ball. You don't really need to. Listen, not that I'm, you know, renowned for heading a football, but when all the pace is on the ball, you know, you don't need to really do much. You just need to direct it, and he did that. And I tell you, it's taken the pressure right off Aberdeen. As I say, I don't think we can go overboard and say they don't deserve. They do deserve to be ahead. And maybe that'll give them confidence, because some of the build-up play has been okay. You can tell the two midfielders that you sit deep, try and pass the ball. The fullbacks get very, very high. They try and get them on it. There's a lot of movement. They're trying to interchange, but they just looked a little bit toothless up until the goal.
It's his 7th of the season for Papa Gay, and despite the fact he's missed over 4 months of the campaign, he is now joint top scorer alongside Esther Sockler for Aberdeen. In terms of Dunfermline, Ian did okay in fairly large chunks of that game, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought they defended really well, and I thought they started the game well, and because Witherspoon is the type of player he is, I think that's a good chance for him. The one that's got the O2, who's done really well. He's a very athletic boy, him in the middle of the pitch. You know, I think he picked him out really well, and he's got the technique that at times he can finish those. And also, I mean, early in the game, I don't think the guys picked. I thought the Mullen chance, the header in the first 2 or 3, I thought it was a really good chance. So other than that, though, you know, I think they've defended well. Their centre backs have got their blocks in. The full backs have defended well. Because you can't really say, Richard, I don't know how you felt or Willie felt, that you felt the goal was coming. I never ever felt that.
No.
Albeit Aberdeen were dominating. Listen, Dunfermline will be just absolutely gutted that they, you know, going in at half time 0-0, coming out in second half would be really, really buoyant. First 10 minutes, keep it tight, have a real go. You know, the bottom line is it's only 1-0, but you know, they haven't been able to counter-attack quite as fluently as I think they would like, because they had opportunities to do that, particularly through young Archie Stevens on the right-hand side.
Yeah, he's caught the eye. The big difference, I guess, in the game is that Papa Gay smashed home that header. Chilikoa Mullen with a very similar header. Very early on in the game, he headed over, and it's the Dons in front. And Willie, I would imagine there's a sense of relief permeating around Pittodrie right now.
Yeah, there was a little bit of frustration from the fans, Richard, that you obviously heard whenever, you know, anybody decided to play the ball back the way. As you can imagine, the fans are wanting it to get forward as much as possible. But no, you know what Ian's saying there, wholeheartedly agree with. I didn't feel that you're sitting on the edge of your seat just waiting on Aberdeen score, and you know, I think the Aberdeen fans are hoping that maybe something will come of the play that they had in the final third, and they had plenty of it. I mean, they had plenty of the ball in the Dunfermline last third, and Dunfermline defended well, but Aberdeen didn't really pose too many questions for them. I didn't feel, you know, creatively. The Keskinen put his right through. I don't understand why he's not struck the one for goal. He tries to play it into Nisbet, doesn't he, inside the box? He is inside the box. You know, he's got to take on the responsibility of having the strike. That was my opinion of that one. Some of the crosses just weren't good enough, got into good positions. I think Jensen's been very good getting himself forward. He's always been an outlet in the right hand side. But once he's got into a position where you're looking for that quality, I just don't think it's been there. Mind you, Kevin Nisbet's just nowhere near it. He's absolutely nowhere near it. If you're a wide player and you've got the ball in a wide area and you're looking for your main striker, you're looking up, you can't see him, you can't find him. So there are reasons perhaps why the wide players have not been able to be more creative, simply because Kevin Nisbet's not looking as though he's anywhere near the player that he was. I don't really know what he gives to the team just now. Richard, if you could feel that he was instinctively getting into positions where the wide players weren't finding him, then you could put a case forward for keeping him on. We all know the qualities he's got, we know that he's a goal scorer, but he's just not looking like it. He's looking devoid of any kind of a confidence. But Aberdeen deserve to be in the lead. They certainly have dominated after the first 10 minutes. It's been a real struggle for Dunfermline to create anything. Listen, the manager has got to lay down the tactics. But for me, Dunfermline, the goalkeeper playing it to the two centre-backs, I just can't see any reason for them to do that, because they're not playing through Aberdeen. Aberdeen are invariably stopping any build-up play before the halfway line. And even if they just mixed it up a little bit, Dunfermline, if they went a little bit longer, get the three players up and pitch it over the top, Aberdeen, at least getting them turned. It's too easy. It's too easy for Aberdeen to defend just now, and Dunfermline are not in the game at all. So if it continues like this, I can see Aberdeen going on and winning it quite comfortably.
Yeah, you feel Dunfermline have to clearly find something in that second half. Ian, just on Kevin Nisbet, he went through that was like a 5-year spell, I suppose. He was scoring freely at Wraith, at Dunfermline, at Aberdeen, got the move, of course, down to Millwall, but it hasn't quite worked out for him. But it is remarkable. But I suppose it shows just how strikers thrive on confidence, and if you're not finding the net, and as Willie pointed out, some strikers do offer other attributes. Kevin doesn't really offer anything other than goals, does he?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the worrying thing for me is, Kevin Nisbet, if you're a supporter of Aberdeen right now and you're watching him, you could accuse him of not trying, and that's not the case. I always find there's been a few players I've had, even myself, over the years, when your confidence is so far down, it can kind of look like that. It can permeate out that you're not really trying. I'm sure he's trying. I'm sure he wants to get back to. But one thing he looks as if he lacks, he's lacking sharpness. I mean, that's one thing he was. If the ball, Willie made a good point actually, it was early in the game. I can't remember who crossed it. It was a decent cross at the ball, and Kevin was back on his heels. And him at his best, playing with Dunfermline the first time, or playing with Hibs, he's across his man there and he goes and scores a goal. So I think it must come down to confidence. I don't know the injuries he had. I know he was out for a good spell when he was down south. I don't know, that's had a knock-on effect, and he needs a real run of games. Right at this minute, Aberdeen don't have the luxury to give a centre forward 10-15 games to find his feet. Their needs are now. So it's a wee bit, I'm sure he'll find himself, I'm sure he'll find his game and his confidence, but it's a wee bit sad to see a player that's quite obviously that level of Scotland cap looking as lost.
I think the problem is, Richard, now is with this new striker Daba, coming in, is Kevin Nisbet going to get the opportunity? You go out, you bring in a new striker, you're going to give him, you're just speaking about it earlier with Keskin, and you're going to give him every opportunity to get on the field of play, because Aberdeen haven't found a goal scorer this season, a consistent goal scorer, other than Papagay, of course, and he was out for quite some time. But that's a worrying thing for Kevin. I'm just watching him, and he's not getting that movement in the box. He's so easy to pin down. You don't actually have to think too much because the movement's not there. And it isn't that he's not trying. I don't believe that that's the case. It's just the fact that he's just not found that confidence that a striker needs, and that instinct that he needs. And that one in particular that Ian picked up that I mentioned, you've just got to get yourself onto that. It's coming from quite a wide area. There's no reason why he doesn't have that instinct to make that movement towards the near post. And if he gets his head on it, it's a goal. But that's Kevin Nisbet. It's just been that type of season for him, and so far he's not looked like the player we all know he is.
Second half coming up live in the SWPL 1. It's Glasgow City 4, Montrose 0. That after just half an hour, and Hearts are 1-0 up against Partick Thistle. Similar amount of time played there. 2 o'clock start. Incidentally, that Hearts Partick Thistle game is live on the BBC Sports Scotland website if you want to watch that. Rangers Aberdeen kicks off at 2, Queen's Park Hibs at 3, Motherwell Spartans at 4. Remember, there's a big game coming up next Friday night. SWPL live on the BBC Scotland channel. Glasgow City against Celtic. Ian's about to head over to Ibrox. He'll be joined there by Derek Ferguson and Thomas Duncan for the second of our live commentary games, a 3:30 start between Rangers and Queen's Park. We still have 45 minutes at least at Pittodrie as Glasgow City go 5-0 up against Montrose. Second half commentary coming from Pittodrie with Willie and Liam.
Aberdeen will get the second half underway. No changes for either team at the start of the second half. A body blow for Dunfermline as Pappy Gay's header thundered into the net to give Aberdeen that precious lead just before the break. So Kevin Nisbet will take centre in just a moment once referee McLean is ready to go. And there we go. Aberdeen left to right in the red and white. And Dunfermline will shoot towards the Richard Donnell stand. Beach end right to left in their black and white, the black pinstripes down the white jerseys. And now it's with Tobers. He turns it out to Jensen on this near side. Duan in goal for Aberdeen. Jensen, Tobers, Canuster, McKenzie, Palaversa, Nielsen, Keskinen, Gay, Ockles and Nisbet. Dunfermline with Oluwayemi in goal, Comrie, Chiloko and Mullen, Benedictus and Chalmers, Hamilton, Otu, Stevens, Wotherspoon, McCann and Kane. Nielsen for Aberdeen, low ball forward into the Dunfermline half. Keskinen loses out to Hamilton, but they've got it back quickly here, and it's Nisbet helping it on its way out to the right hand side here for Jensen in the opening minute of the second half. Low ball forward to the goal scorer Gay, then back to Alexander Jensen. Gay has it now, trying to hold off Otu, moving to a central position, finds Ockles, he finds Keskinen on the left foot, his efforts blocked. 3 Dunfermline players in the way, still it's alive for Keskinen. Finds Jensen, his low ball back towards the penalty spot's cut out by Hamilton, and out it goes for a throw in on this near side. Jimmy Tillene will be hoping, I mean, he'll take a 1-0 to get through, but he'll be hoping his team can score some goals in this second half, because they need to sharpen up in that regard.
Yeah, you would think so, and the amount of ball that they have, you would hope, or Jimmy Tillene would hope that they'll be able to create a number of opportunities, particularly if, you know, Dunfermline are constantly under pressure, which it looks like they're going to be in the second half, because Aberdeen have got them pinned back, and they were pinned back for most of that first half. Listen, they defended well again. A lot of bodies back there. They're anticipating the strikes and goal, and although Aberdeen are trying to, you know, dig one out that can find the back of the net, there's just white jerseys swarming in front of them.
There's Nielsen for Aberdeen, floats it out to this right hand side of the Dunfermline box for Jensen. It's always an option, his low ball back. Otu's one to it. Dunfermline get it away. Jensen trying to win it back for Aberdeen. He's done well to find Palaversa, who then digs it out into the centre circle for Canuster. Rolls it with the left foot out to McKenzie on the far side. And field to Ockles. Then back to the Dutch debutant. Forward to Gay, who, as Richard was saying, took his tally to 7 for the season. Joint top scorer. Esther Sockler joining him there. Sockler's only got 2 league goals out of all that. One of those was at Celtic Park, a fine finish. The other, of course, that scissors kick against Hibs. But this time last year, Bojan Mijovski was sitting on 19 goals, Willie, so they didn't miss Mijovski in the opening quarter of the season, but my goodness, they're missing him right now.
You know, when you've got a prolific goal scorer like that and he depart from the club, then you know that you're going to miss him at some point unless you find a replacement. Aberdeen haven't found that replacement yet. You can put the case forward that you try to spread the goals around, but you need someone, you need a go-to striker. My opinion anyway, you need a go-to striker. You need someone that you can rely on, that is going to be that main man whenever you get into the opposition penalty box. And so far this season, Papagay's done well. Sockler at times, yes, but you know, the number 9 shirt that I'm watching just now, Kevin Nisbet, he just hasn't fulfilled the promise that Jimmy Tulane thought that he would bring to the club.
I think we all thought that Kevin Nisbet would come up here, and he's so proven at this level that we expected him to hit the ground running, and he's on it here. Kevin Nisbet down the left, and he's won the corner. Has he? No, goal kick. He's having a long lingering look at Stephen McLean. I mean, I'm on the other side of the pitch. It looked like a corner from here. Nisbet's adamant that it was, but a goal kick's been given. 1-0 Aberdeen, almost on 49. Short ball from Oluwayemi, finds Hamilton. The anchor roll there, shifts it out to Comrie on the right hand side. Up the line for Stevens, good shimmy away from McKenzie, and Nisbet backtracking does well, and Aberdeen a bit back with Knooster.
See, there's an example of Dunfermline, right? And, you know, I'm not knocking it. If it works, it's great. But you start with the goalkeeper, you build it up, and you don't get to the halfway line. You simply don't get to the halfway line. And Dunfermline have not got to the halfway line when they've tried to build it up from the goalkeeper through the 2 centre-backs. So, you know, if that constantly happens, you've got to change it a little bit. You've got to mix it up. And, you know, Dunfermline aren't willing to do that.
Ockles gets it to Keskinen, left-hand side of the Dunfermline box. And back to Ockles, and then Keskinen level with the 6-yard line, pulls it back, fresh here from Nisbet, drops to Jensen, takes a touch and scores! Really good finish from Alexander Jensen, who gets his first for the club. It broke to him after Kevin Nisbet's fresh air swipe at it, and he arrows it low into the bottom left corner. And Aberdeen are setting sail for the quarter-finals here. A goal just before the break and a goal 5 minutes after it, and it's Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
That's the way to deal with a cup tie, isn't it? You know, 2 successive, very quick goals, one just before the interval, one right after it. Listen, Keskinen does well down that left-hand side, puts the ball across now. Kevin Nisbet has a fresh air swipe at it, but I'm sure there's a little touch before that from a defender that puts him off. It falls to Jensen, who's been really productive, you know, so far in the game. But he picks his spot at the far post, drills it low, and makes it look easy. He has got a lot of time to pick his spot right enough, but he does it extremely well. He gives Aberdeen that second, and surely they should coast now to the final whistle and into the last 8.
You would think so. Michael Tidser is looking to his bench already. He's going to make at least 2 changes here. He's sitting down there shaking his head, having been very much in the tie until an effective 6 minutes of playing time ago. Now they find themselves 2 down, the championship side, and it's back with Oluwayemi. It's a really good finish from Jensen, and as Willie said there, and as Ian was saying at half-time, he's looked the part for Aberdeen today. One of the 6 new signings Aberdeen made in the January window. He comes back to Benedictus and squares it to Chiloko Amullen, but this tie's just completely fallen apart for Dunfermline in the, as I said, Willie, in the space of 6 minutes of action.
Yeah, it has, and you know that can happen in cup ties, and they've defended reasonably well, but you know the 2 occasions where they haven't defended properly, then you know the top tier team has taken them apart, and it is looking rather easy for them just now. But I think Jensen, I kind of look at Lewis McCann. I wonder what he is doing from a defensive point of view, because every time Aberdeen get the ball, Jensen is free.
Aberdeen have it with Palaversa's ball forwards cut out by Hamilton. No handball, says the referee. No out to McCann on this near side. No ball for Kane, back to McCann. Dunfermline need the next goal. They're trying to get it here, but Tomers defends it well against McCann and rolls it to Knooster inside his own penalty area. Aberdeen's next league game is at Dens Park against a Dundee team who have lost 6-0 in their last 2 league matches. It's a massive game for both clubs next weekend, and Aberdeen host Kilmarnock ahead of a trip to Celtic Park. And the next 2 league games are huge for Aberdeen. Here's Jensen skipping forward, now he rolls it infield to Gay. Back to Nielsen, little flick for Palaversa. Rolls it to Jensen to his right. Jensen finds Keskinen, but he doesn't really get a touch on it. Wotherspoon comes back and nicks it off him and drifts it forward, but Straight to McKenzie, who pushes it back to Knooster. 53.5 on the clock. Aberdeen 2-0 up.
Michael Tidser, surely he's got to see that Jensen is a threat and try to get someone close to him. The whole of the first half, no one near him. Second half, exactly the same.
Yeah, but here come Dunfermline, low ball into the Aberdeen box towards Kane's, cut out by Tobers, who dumps it out into the Dunfermline supporters on the far side for a throw into the visitors. And the double change will be made here. Chris Hamilton is the first to be withdrawn. Ephraim Yeboah will come on. There's a striker coming on for a midfield player, so there's the signal of intent. And Kieran Ngwenya, the former Aberdeen youngster, is going to replace Joe Chalmers. Both those two that have come on were dropped from the starting 11. The side beaten by Livingston in the Challenge Cup last 4 the other night. So shake things up a little bit. If they can score, make it 2-1, they're back in the tie. But if they lose, the next goal is done. Otto at the edge of the box, and he wildly slashes it closer to the corner flag than the goal. It will remain Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
Yeah, it's a big ask for Dunfermline now, though. With Aberdeen getting that second goal, and it's bound to hit their confidence, their belief, perhaps. Doing well, keeping Aberdeen out to 45 minutes, basically. Last kick of the ball, last header of the ball, and they go 1 down, and then so early in the second half to lose that second goal. It's going to test their character, and they're going to have to show something really special to get himself back into this game.
Yeboah, who's come on, he's actually Italian, 18-year-old on loan from Bristol City. Trying to give some support to Chris Kane. Looks he's going to play in the more of a number 10 role. Ngwenya with the throw-in down this near side. Kane looking for it. Tobers gets it away for Aberdeen. Little header in field by Palaversa. Finds Keskinen. And he switches it out to Jack McKenzie over on that left-hand side. So back to Knooster. Taking the ball forward and rolling it forward there to Gay. Looks he's got a good pass on him, Knooster.
It's on again.
Yeah, for Jensen on this near side.
Totally free, Liam, totally free. All you have to do is look up, and you don't have to actually assess it. You know that Jensen's going to be free. No one near him at all.
Knooster. Well, I've just told the nation how good a passer he is, and he's just given it away.
His first bad one, though.
Yeah, it was. But sure as night follows day. It was the same at Ayr United the other night. It was praising Jay Henderson's passing, and then he gave it away twice. It is now with Chiloko Amullen. Rolls it forward, Yeboah, and on the turn inside the centre circle, the challenge from Nielsen and Palaversa. He's got away from both of them, and he shifts it forward, and Dunfermline could be in down the left here with Ngwenya. Looks up in the box, a low ball in, and turned behind for the corner by Tobers. That was better, and you hear the roar from the away fans over there.
Yeah, Yeboah doing extremely well, playing in that number 10, showing a desire to get on the ball, and good touch as well, setting up Ngwenya, and that kind of a cross towards the near post. Dangerous one. You've got to make sure that you get a body there, and Aberdeen managed to get a defender in there just to touch it for the corner.
Kieran Ngwenya will be desperate to show what he can do. I mean, not really got his opportunity here. He was away for several loan spells. It's an Aberdeen youngster as the corner comes in. It's headed away by Nisbet on the 6-yard line. Otto tries to keep it alive, and it's hacked away by Sivert Nielsen. Then Ockels. Gay loses out. Then there's a foul by Nielsen in the midfield. That'll be a free kick to Dunfermline, which they were keen to take quickly, but the ref's not ready. Aberdeen leading 2-0 on 58 minutes, but this has been a decent little spell, this, for the Pars.
It has, yeah. They've responded really well, and Kevin Nisbet, I think that's the third head that he's had from a set piece inside the box defensively. That is nothing at the other end, right enough. But defensively, he's standing up to his duties. Really good clearing header.
So free kick Dunfermline, and David Wotherspoon's over it. Right-footed delivery coming up. Drifts it in. It's not the worst delivery there. It might break to the back post area, and there's a big scream for a handball there. Stevens hit it with the right foot in the volley, and it came off one of the Aberdeen defenders. I think it was McKenzie. Yep. It's gone behind for a corner initially.
I thought it was his chest. I thought it was Jack McKenzie's chest that it came off of. We might get the opportunity.
Well, he's getting a replay here.
Even if it hits his hand, it's in his body. For me, it's coming off his chest. No penalty.
Dunfermline corner then over on the far side. And O2 is over it. Congested 6-yard box. He's played it back. I never understand that. If you got a chance to swing the ball in the box. O2 now drills it in low. Jensen clears. It's a real waste for Dunfermline, and Aberdeen are away in the counter. Topi Keskinen is driving forward up towards the edge of the Dunfermline box. He runs into Comrie. Keskinen gets back onto it, finds Gay. Little ball infield to Ockles. And back to Nielsen. He and Palaversa exchange passes, flicked with the outside of the boot by Nielsen out to the wide left for McKenzie. Gets the cross in, away by Comrie. Breaks to Jensen, now Palaversa bends it towards the left-hand side of the box. Comrie heads clear. Now with Canuster. Little dig down the left-hand touchline there for McKenzie. We're about to tick on to the hour mark at Pittodrie with Aberdeen leading by 2-0. McKenzie into the box for Keskinen, who goes down when he tried to control, and Dunfermline are able to get it away. They've got it on the right-hand side.
You just feel that Keskinen should have done better with that break as well. You know, he had plenty of room in front of him. He does things too quickly. I think if he can think a little bit more about the game, then, you know, and look at his options rather than just getting the head down and just, you know, going in a straight line. It's too easy to defend when a winger like that just goes simply in a straight line. If he can get his head up and he's looking for options, or he can move his body.
He's coming off now, Willie. Keskinen.
That was his epitaph, I think.
It was good advice, Willie. Good advice to him, but he's going to...
No, it's not. He's just getting more advice.
Ockles is coming off.
He's just getting more advice.
Shaden Morris replaces Ockles.
Yeah. I think he's been prominent. Keskinen, I just feel that he can do much better. Maybe he's just taking a little bit of time to settle in. I think he needs to think about his game a bit more, and Jimmy Talleen putting Shaden Morris on. Usually he gets the ball, hit the byline, and Aberdeen score when that happens. Maybe not the last couple of weeks, but certainly that's been the history of Shaden Morris. He's got real good pace, and you know, when he gets it in his mind that he's going to hit that byline, he usually does.
Well, he scored in the last round against Elgin. Morris got the opening goal, actually, and Aberdeen hadn't started that game particularly well. That has been a theme throughout the season. Duke got the other two. He's no longer of this parish, of course. As Aberdeen pick up a throw-in out on the left-hand side in the attacking third. On the south stand side as they attack the goal to the right. Goals either side of half-time. Aberdeen at the moment cruising towards the quarters, and now McKenzie's after it down towards the byline, loops the cross in. Too much on it for anyone though, and Morris goes after it, and Gwenya the challenge. Morris has done really well to keep that in play. Goes back to Tobers, who finds Nielsen, who stabs it into the centre circle here for Canuster. Square ball for Tobers, then forward to Nielsen. Jensen's made a run ahead of him, but he waited too long and goes back to Tobers. Jensen had got into an offside position. Tobers rolls it out to Jensen on the near side, and infield to Nisbet. His ball back to Jensen's poor though, goes straight to O2, and now it is Wotherspoon out to the left-hand side for Lewis McCann. Chops back in field and then turns back into his own half for Gwenya. He finds his captain Benedictus. 62.5 on the clock. Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
Yeah, it's another example of Kevin Nisbet just not being close to what he's capable of doing. You know, trying to just keep possession, just a little cushion pass back, and it's giving possession away when really he's under no pressure whatsoever. It's disappointing for him. He just doesn't look, you know, even the body language, even
absolutely
the shape when he's moving about the park doesn't look like a confident shape.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and we saw that. I was doing the Hibs game last week, Easter Road, and you could see that when he came on. There was no real energy about him, and it looks as though, I mean, it could change, of course. It looks as though his time at Aberdeen is just going to pass him by, unless he can find the goals between now and the end of the season that take Aberdeen to third and potentially threaten this competition. And it's the Pars on the far side, infield to Wotherspoon, who goes back to Benedictus. Right-footed ball out to the left-hand touchline from McCann, gets it infield to Ionotu. Low ball forward to Kane, gets it back to McCann, looking to try and feed it through to Yeboah. He's going to get there. He's found Kane, and his effort saved by Doohan. That was the chance. Stevens has it. He shoots, Doohan saves, and flops down onto it. Two opportunities. Michael Tincher's punching fresh air and frustration down there, that they didn't take one of the two bites of the cherry they had there. It stays Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0 on 64.
Yeah, you're expecting Chris Kane to finish that one. He doesn't. He's fallen back right enough. Then rebounds out, and you know, the second effort is just too straight, isn't it? It's too straight to Ross Doohan and goal. Is it Stevens that gets the second straight? Yeah. As it fell to him, you know, if he finds it either side of Doohan, then he's got a chance of making it 2-1. But good play, well worked down the left hand side, eventually transferring to the right, and 2 strikes in goal and 2 saves from the Aberdeen goalkeeper.
It's Aberdeen in possession here with Tobers. Remember, Rangers Queen's Park to come here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. 3:30 kickoff at Ibrox. 3 o'clock kickoff, Scotland-Ireland in the second match for both in the Six Nations. Both those matches live on the 2 frequencies of BBC Radio Scotland this Sunday afternoon. And then tomorrow evening, St Mirren against Heart of Midlothian in Paisley, 7:45 kickoff. Sports Scene on air at 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. The highlights of today's matches this evening on Sports Scene. And on Wednesday, Champions League knockout playoff round, first leg, Celtic Bayern Munich. Here come Dunfermline, long ball's going over the head of Tovers. Chance here for McCann, the goal's open up for him and he fires it well wide. It's another opening for Dunfermline. They're going to look to their bench here. Kane Richie Hosler's going to come on, but Lewis McCann has got the latest opportunity, and that was yet another long ball that the Aberdeen defence has not been able to cope with, and it was Tovers this time. Double change, O'Halloran also coming on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's right over his head as well, over Tovers' head. And the ball's in the air for such a long time that you've got to be able to read that, get yourself back, and not allow McCann the opportunity. Listen, he does nothing with it. For me, I think he should put in Yeboah, who's to his right hand side, and you know, the sub has got a good chance, a better chance I think, of finishing that one, but he goes for the strike. He leans back, he's way off target, way off target, but a good well, when I say a good break, it's just simply a transfer of the ball from one end of the park to the other, and Aberdeen not defending it properly and McCann getting onto it.
Stays 2-0 Aberdeen. Those changes have been made there, and it's the 2 who tested Ross Doohan who've come off. Kane and Stevens been replaced by Richie Hosler and Michael O'Halloran, Scottish Cup winner with St Johnstone. Remember him playing very well. Stevie May got both goals against Aberdeen in the semis, but O'Halloran was outstanding that day, as was Stevie McLean. It's a poor ball by Morris for Jensen on the overlap, and he goes behind for the goal kicks. Really slack from Shayden Morris, given the position he found himself in there, the position that Jensen found himself in as well. Aberdeen will make a double change. Canuster will come off, and Aberdeen fans giving him a warm ovation. He'll be replaced by on-loan Spurs centre-back Alfie Dorrington, with Graham Shinnie also coming on to replace Sivert Nielsen. The club captain gets the armband from the Norwegian. The final quarter of this Scottish Cup 5th round tie, Aberdeen leading 2-0.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're 2-0 up, although, you know, Dunfermline have had a couple of opportunities in the last 10 minutes or so, you know, you want to make that change. You want to get, you know, maybe the fresher legs on. You want to get Dorrington on the park, you know, the new man just in as well. Canuster, give him a little rest. So I think it's very wise from Jimmy Tilleen to make these changes.
O'Halloran gets away from McKenzie on the far side. Palaversa sticking to him though. Very much in the veteran stage of his career these days, O'Halloran. Ball back into his own half. There for Chiloko Mullen, and now it's Benedictus. It's left of the centre circle. Wotherspoon's made a little run for him. He's dinked it towards him, but just a bit too much on it. And it bounces through to Doohan. He plays it short to Tobers.
Yeah, Aberdeen sitting back a little bit, you know, almost retreating, you know, into their own half, allowing Dunfermline, you know, plenty of possession. Dunfermline playing a high line there, being able to get their back four right up to the halfway line. So I don't know if that's Jimmy Tilleen's tactics or if that's the way the game has just gone, but certainly Dunfermline, since that second goal, you know, has gone in, that they've managed to have a fair chunk of the game, and they're looking at times a little bit dangerous.
There's Dorrington going back to his goalkeeper. Doohan fires it forward with the right foot up towards the halfway line. Gay couldn't get a flick onto it, and it's cleared by Comrie into the Aberdeen half. Tobers with a header for Dorrington. He nods it back to Tobers, who nods it back to his keeper.
And saying that, they don't really have to do much now, do they, Aberdeen? You know, if Dunfermline are going to throw players forward, then they might get the opportunity on the counter, you know, to get that third one. But at 2-0, you know, some people say it's a dangerous scoreline, and perhaps it is in the modern game. Never used to be then, but perhaps it is, and Aberdeen would want to get that third one and, you know, make no mistake of where or who's going to go into the next round.
I can't imagine there were many examples of you being 2-0 up, Willie, and losing a football match, or even dropping points. Back in those days, it's a chance for Dunfermline. It's a scuffed effort at goal by Richie Hosler. He didn't really catch it. And it's kind of a trundler all the way through to Doohan, who can hold on, but another example that Dunfermline are, I mean, they'll throw caution to the wind now. They've got nothing to lose. Yeah. Nothing to lose really coming up against a top flight team away from home anyway. But right now, 2-0 down, they're in a hole. They can just do what they want.
Yeah, absolutely, Liam, and hope that they maybe get that goal, and then it's a worrying time for Aberdeen, and maybe the nerves will settle in.
But here come Aberdeen. Morris, ball back towards Gay, but he can only flick it right through to the goalkeeper Oluwayemi, who has it in his gloves now. Final 20 at Pittodrie, and it's with Benedictus. It's not the biggest crowd inside Pittodrie today. 9,893 is the official attendance. There's these cup games not on the season ticket, and it's half term, isn't it? So
yeah. And Dunfermline have brought up a really healthy crowd over there, haven't they? They've been well supported.
It's full. It's the away end. They sold out the allocation. And it's bustling. The Pars fans trying to get their team going. 2-0 down, heading out of the cup, unless they can pull off resurrection here. That's wonderful skill by O'Halloran, but he eventually runs out of options as he ran in field, and Aberdeen clear. Now it's up with this bit, but he's been penalised for a foul over on the far side, around about the halfway line. Yeah, it looked like it was a foul on Wotherspoon. It will be a Dunfermline free kick, which has been taken from nowhere near where the infringement was. And it's been knocked in field to Kyle Benedictus here. Looks up, right-footed, clipped ball out to Ngwenya. Heads it in field for Yeboah. Still chasing after it. He's got something about him, this Dunfermline number 34, the sub. He's won his team a throw-in on this near side, midway inside Aberdeen territory. And Kieran Ngwenya over it. I mean, given how brittle this Aberdeen defence is, if Dunfermline were able to find a goal, it could make it, as Willie was saying, a really nerve-wracking final 15-20 minutes for the home team.
I think it would be, yeah. I mean, I think it would be, and it would give Dunfermline energy. They found a fair bit of energy, and you know, Tidger has made these substitutions as well that has brought on fresh legs, and Aberdeen have kind of folded back the way, you know, just trying to run the clock down. In my opinion, I think they should be much more thinking about getting the ball forward, getting the bodies forward early, and putting Dunfermline, you know, under much more pressure.
Keskinen chasing a ball forward. Comrie is able to chaperone it back though to Oluwayemi, and now it's out to Wotherspoon on the right, crossing the halfway line. Driving forward, cutting back, under pressure from Keskinen. There's rolled back to Otu. A little bit, wasn't a great ball, and Benedictus can't get there. Papi Gay has it on the right, Nisbet to his left. Gay finds Nisbet, takes a touch, and he dinks it off the post. My goodness me. Well, that just sums up where Kevin Nisbet is right now.
Oh, you feel for him. You feel for the striker. You feel he's looking to the heavens. I can understand why he's looking up there. He cannot believe that he's missed that golden opportunity to seal this tie. A mistake, from Dunfermline and Papagay onto it, and he just, it's the most perfect ball into Nisbet's path, isn't it? And he takes that touch and he's just trying to dink it over the goalkeeper, and it comes off the post, and in a way it should have nestled in the back of the net. That would have given him a fair bit of confidence, but the exact opposite is now the case, isn't it? He just can't believe, with the quality that he's got and the chance that's presented to him, that he's missed it.
Oh, it's on a plate. It was on a plate for Kevin Nisbet. That's just where he's at right now. Zinguenya comes down the left for Dunfermline, sliding into Morris to put it out for a throw into the visitors, level with the Aberdeen penalty spot. Just over 15 left. Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0. It should be 3-0. It should be tie over. But here come Dunfermline trying to reduce the arrears to 1. With Otu. Low ball into Wotherspoon. Out to Ngwenya, taking on Shinnie. Shinnie goes down, and that will be a free kick to Aberdeen. And again, that is, I think, that particular move is known as the Shinnie, as he wins the free kick.
See, there's shimmy, it's a Shinnie.
Yeah.
He does it so well, though, doesn't he? And invariably he gets a free kick. And it just takes all the pressure off when you're in that kind of a position. You're facing your own goal, you're down in the right back area, you get a little touch in the back, the legs collapse, and the free kick are given.
Long ball forward, which is helped on its way by Gay. Here is Nisbet, and loses out, and it's Wotherspoon who clears. The chase is on for Michael O'Halloran. Plenty of energy in those legs, O'Halloran, as Mackenzie's forced to put it out for a throw-in on the far side. They're making a fist of this, Dunfermline. This hasn't been a bad performance from the visitors. Michael Tidser, there'll be plenty of positives for him to take from this, even if they weren't able to turn the ship around. There's Jensen for Aberdeen, though. Forward to Morris. Gets the break of the ball off Benedictus. It is Morris, and then runs into trouble, but he's emerged with it still outside the D. Finds Keskinen, who goes for a goal and fires it over the bar. And on 76 it remains Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
I think it's worth having a pop, isn't it? Keskinen, he gets on his right foot there. He's looking for the top corner, the far corner. He's trying to curl it. He's just, he's hit it well enough, but it's just over the bar. But I think in these circumstances, this stage of the game, it's well worth taking the effort.
2 goals for Aberdeen today, but Dorrington's made a mess of it, and Yeboah's in at the edge of the penalty area. He goes down. Was he fouled? The referee says yes! Yes, he was, and Stephen McLean has pointed, I think, to the spot there. This is
yes,
right. Yeah, this is just inside the penalty area, and Dunfermline have a lifeline at Pittodrie.
It's Jack McKenzie. Jack McKenzie clips the heels of Yeboah. Now the question is it inside the box or is it outside the box? He goes down. It looks as though there's contact. Makes a little bit of a meal of it, I must say, but there is contact. I don't know if that's inside the box.
Yeah, it might be right on the line. We'll find out.
It might take a wee bit of time, Liam.
Grant Irvin's the VAR. Wow, this is a huge moment when you consider what Kevin Nisbet did a couple of minutes ago.
I know,
dinking it off the post to make it 3-0. If this does stand as a penalty and Dunfermline score it and Yeboah is over it, having won it himself, this is very much tie on, but they're checking to see if this was inside the box. There's no question it's a foul. Jack McKenzie's not complaining either. It's whether it's inside the box or not. I wasn't sure if he'd given the free kick initially. And it looks as though the decision is free kick. No penalty. Well, Aberdeen have dodged one there. It's a free kick. It's not quite inside the box. I think it was bang on the line, but we're getting a chance to see it here. Willie's getting a chance to see it. His foot's on the line, Yeboah, when he goes down.
I think the contact's outside the box. The foot goes down, and the decision is it's outside the box, which is, definitely a relief for Aberdeen, and a relief for Dorrington as well, who misjudged that one over the top of his head to allow Yeboah in the first place, and also Jack McKenzie for being so rash, running across the back of Yeboah to bring him down. That was a tight call, wasn't it?
Well, again, and I mentioned this on Friday night, it's perhaps not a popular thing to say, but some of these ties have VAR, some of them don't. There were people who thought Nectarius Triantis should have been sent off for Hibs in the opening minute at Somerset on Friday. No VAR there. Plenty who didn't think it was a red card, of course, but some ties are being ref to a different standard than others. You see, the FA Cup in England, they're bringing VAR in from the semis onwards, which seems fair enough. No VAR before that. Anyway, it's still a chance for Dunfermline, this. Otto's there, so's McCann, and it's Otto who takes, and Douan makes the save, throws to himself to his right, and it pops out to Yeboah on this near side, and Aberdeen have got away with it.
Well, they have. Of course, the difference is that the referee thought it was a penalty, so if there's no VAR here, he's pointed to the spot, so it's a penalty.
Yeah, no VAR here, penalty, potentially scoring, and Dunfermline are back in this Scottish Cup tie, and they're going to get a free kick. Aberdeen over on the far side for a foul by McCann on Palaversa. So we're about to go into the final 10 minutes of the 90 here with Aberdeen leading 2-0. There's a yellow card for Yeboah as well, or was it Otto? There'd been Otto with the initial challenge. No, it was Yeboah. It was Yeboah, Otto. We're seeing a replay of his free kick, which Douan saved.
Yeah, he said something to the referee. Referee decided to give him the yellow card.
There's a debate to be had there, Willie, whether it's fair to have VAR in some games but not in others. It is, and we're going to debate it, that's for sure. Now, again, the point has to be made. Ayr United were offered VAR on Friday night and didn't want the extra cost, which is absolutely their right to do so. You would think you just take the VAR out of the equation until you get to Hampden. Here's McCann, rolls it to the left, and Jensen sees it behind for the goal kick. The long and the short of it is, Willie, is that it's the correct decision. It was outside the box. It was a free
outside
kick.
The box. But the point is, what we're suggesting here is make it a level playing field.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that up to a certain stage, maybe the next round, that you don't have VAR and everybody, plays under the same rules. So I think that would be a position to take and a case to put forward.
Listen, Aberdeen were done out of a perfectly good goal at Darvel 2 years ago because there was no VAR there, and the assistant didn't see there was an onside.
I'm just getting over that, Liam. It'd be great if you didn't mention it again.
I was meaning the fact Leighton Clarkson scored a perfectly good goal in the game, and because the linesman thought he was offside. Maybe thought Mijovski was offside before that. Anyway, it cost Aberdeen in the end. The Dons have a problem here because Tobers is down injured and he's needing the medics to come on, and there's going to be a little stoppage in play here as we head into the final 8 of the 90. It's a really strange one, actually. He's gone to clear it, Tobers, and I'm not sure exactly what went on there, Willie. He's kind of landed awkwardly. He's got himself into an awkward position to clear it. His body didn't look right, didn't look set for it. He seems to be in some serious discomfort here. Anyway, Aberdeen 2, Dunfermline 0.
He was all off balance, wasn't he, when he went and cleared that ball? And I don't know if it's when he's taken off or when he's landed, but we're just seeing a replay of the Kevin Nisbet chance as well, and I'm looking to the heavens after that. But yeah, is he up? Is he okay? Is he still off the pitch?
Yeah, he's waiting to come back on now.
He's waiting to come back on, so everything's fine.
Rangers Queen's Park to come, 3:30 kick-off at Ibrox. We get the team news from there, the match in Glasgow. Once we are done here, it doesn't look as though there will be any extra time required at Pittodrie unless Dunfermline can bag a couple of goals in the closing stages of the match. It doesn't look likely. They've had their chances though, and they thought they were getting a penalty there. which could have brought this tie dramatically back to life. The ball comes all the way through to Ross Doohan. Aberdeen, such a rich Scottish Cup history in the 1980s. In Willie's time as the leader of the team out there. Won it 3 seasons on the bounce. You must have felt at that point you were immortal in this competition.
Yeah, when you look back, yeah, absolutely. If you're fortunate enough to get to that stage where you're constantly lifting the Scottish Cup, then you do feel that it's just going to continue. A long time ago, though, Liam, unfortunately for the club.
Yeah, 35 years since they last lifted it. Here's Shayden Morris down the right. Jensen in support. And Gwenya trying to defend it. It's back with Jensen, who finds Shinnie. Graham Shinnie, who lifted it in 2015, 10 years ago with Cali Thistle. Papigay, Jensen, now Morris gets the break of the ball. Now he's taking on Ngwenya, he's into the area. It's good play. Morris plays it across, and Nisbet taps it home. That one he could not miss. And a much needed goal for Aberdeen's number 9. Outstanding positive play by Shayden Morris. And the low ball across, Nisbet taps it into the empty net. And that will do him the world of good, because the weight of the world was on his shoulders as he makes it Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline Athletic 0. The Dons will be in the last 8.
He needed that, didn't he, Kevin Nisbet? Even though it was an easy chance, well created. I mean, Shayden Morris, even if he decides to go to the byline, there's nothing you can do about it. He's just so quick. And Gwenya, he must know that he's going to go to the byline. Must have seen him going to the byline on so many occasions, but there's just nothing the youngster could do about it. He gets there, shows him a clean pair of heels, and simply looks up, and he knows that Nisbet's there. Just pops it across the face, and Nisbet coming from behind just to slot it home. So it's and his teammates were all round him congratulating him. So it's a brilliant sight to see, and I'm sure that Kevin Nisbet's hugely relieved after missing that chance.
Here's Yabo up the other end, another long ball. Aberdeen haven't dealt with Yabo at the byline. Goes down, challenged there by Tobbers. The referee says no penalty, but the flag's up on the far side anyway. Aberdeen with a 3-0 lead going into the final 5 here of the 90. And they are now, Willie, cruising through to the quarters.
They are, and they've been a better team. They get themselves 2-0 up, and then they take the foot off the gas a little bit and allow Dunfermline. Saying that, Dunfermline, defended extremely well when they were under pressure in the first half. Made more of a game of it in the second half. But Aberdeen always looking the more threatening, and having chances. That Kevin Nisbet one he should have scored prior to the one that he eventually took. So at 3-0, then it's a comfortable victory for Aberdeen, and looking towards a very strong last 8.
Dunfermline have it with Aaron Comrie over on the far side, just rolling it infield there to Chinoko Mullen, switching the play out to this near side, but he can't find McCann. He goes out for a throw to Aberdeen on this near side. It's a 3-0 win over Elgin in the last round. They take the Dons through as Fletcher Boyd and Leighton Clarkson prepare to come on. Boyd will replace Gay, and Palaversa will come off to be replaced by Clarkson. Fletcher Boyd will get a warm welcome here. The youngster from Portsoy comes on, having made that spectacular impact at the end of last season. The opportunities this term have been limited for him. Owen Hampson's going to come on for Dunfermline for the final few minutes, and he'll replace David Wotherspoon.
Yeah, it's good to see the youngster getting that opportunity, isn't it? One for the future. Everybody's thinking, but you've got to get a chance. You've got to get the opportunity to go on the field and prove what your manager thinks you're capable of. No point in just constantly getting the opportunity to sit on the bench. He's young enough, his time will come right enough, but at the same time, get him on, the game's won, give him the opportunity to go and do something special.
Yeah, Aberdeen's youngest ever scorer when he scored against Hibs Easter Road, scored one against Kilmarnock as well, post-split last season. It's Dunfermline on the ball, rolled back by O'Halloran to his goalkeeper. Now this tie is done. Highlights of this one, as well as Rangers Queen's Park, to come on Sports Scene this evening. As Shinnie rolls it out to Jensen on this near side. He's got Morris ahead of him. Forward it goes, then infield to Boyd. Then Morris to Clarkson. Moves it back to Shinnie at the edge of the centre circle. Then out to Mackenzie. He goes back to Shinnie. And then to Dorrington, whose mistake wasn't capitalised on earlier. In the end, here's Jensen to Morris inside the Dunfermline box, right hand side of it, level with the 6-yard line. His ball back's cut out by Comrie. Then Clarkson out to Morris. Jensen's looking to try and get in a bit of space, but Morris instead rolls it back to Leighton Clarkson, flicks it with the outside of the right boot, infield to Shinnie, back to Clarkson, then to the left of the centre circle for Dorrington. Final minute of the 90 here, Dorrington charging forward into the Dunfermline box, but a heavy touch takes it behind for the goal kick to the visitors.
A bit of brain fog there from the centre back. You know, he didn't really know what to do.
He said, "Where am I?"
He's in the opposition penalty box, and he's got nowhere to go really, and he just gives up in it, doesn't he? And he goes out for the goal kick.
Quick rematch with Livingston next for Dunfermline next weekend. They host Queen's Park before a trip to Hamilton to try and get themselves away from the bottom echelons of the championship. Hampson coming forward for them, but he loses out, slips, and Aberdeen have it back. Mackenzie drives forward, about to go into stoppage time, of which there will be 6 minutes. It is Keskinen. We're into the first of the 6. Keskinen on the far side, tying himself in knots really. Then comes off Comrie and out for an Aberdeen throw-in. Down by the corner flag over on the far side. Certainly been positive for Michael Tidser to take from this, and
yeah,
I mean, it's not beyond question that they could be caught by the likes of Airdrieonians, but even that playoff place, just get themselves away from that.
Yeah,
it's a long throw and comes straight into the gloves of Oluwayemi.
I think that's the target, isn't it? You know, from a league point of view, yes. You know, they get an opportunity here in the Cup to do something special, and it'd be wonderful from their point of view if they could come to Pittodrie and get a victory, but they've really got to focus on the league campaign and, you know, try desperately to get themselves out of any possibility of dropping down, you know, to the first division. So it's about Tidser, you know, allowing the team here to learn, perhaps. I mean, they've got quite a lot of experienced players in their team as well. You know, he's got a certain style of play which for me is not going to work against Aberdeen, but against other teams in the championship might work. So he's got to find that sparkle, and they certainly look as though they've got players that can cause opposition problems. They defended really well in the first half too, so you know, it's not been a disappointing performance from Dunfermline. I just think that Aberdeen have been better.
Yeah, they're just a point clear of Accies, who are in that 9th spot. 10 points clear of Airdrieonians. However, they have played a game more than the bottom 2. So still tough challenges to come for Dunfermline. Such a huge club. You can see that with the away support over there. On the far side, it's been a strange season for them. 3-0 down here in this cup tie, though. We played 2 of the 6 minutes of stoppage time, and this game's just petering out now. Dunfermline in possession with Comrie. He rolls it infield to Chiloko Amullen, who now finds Benedictus up to the halfway line, rolls it out to the left for McCann. And back to Benedictus. Is this the match and performance that can reignite Aberdeen's season, Willie?
I wouldn't suggest. I wouldn't go that far. I think they've done the job. They've looked, you know, okay. They've dominated possession in the first half. They haven't been creative enough. They've got 3 goals yet again. It's at home. It's against you know, a team that's struggling in the championship. So I can't say that you can say that this is going to, you know, turn their season around. But what it does give is it gives all these people here and the rest of the fans that will follow Aberdeen in the league this season, you know, hope of something special in the cup. And that cup run, it lifts everybody. It gives everybody hope and something to look forward to. Something perhaps, you know, depending on the draw, get a home draw in the last 8 and then get yourself to Hampden, and they've got a trip to Hampden all of a sudden. So it's important that you give the fans something. and in particular when you're going through such a bad spell in the league. But I wouldn't say that this performance is kind of gave them the inspiration that the league form is going to turn dramatically. It could very well do, and if they get a decent draw and they continue the form in the cup and get to the semi-finals, then that will help as well. But they've got to sort out their league form, there's no doubt about that.
Starting at Dundee next weekend. Nisbet's fouled by Benedictus. Free kick Aberdeen just inside the Dunfermline half. About to tick on to 94 minutes, so just over 2 left to play here. The Pars fans continue to sing over on the far side. They'll be bitterly disappointed because they had their chances today. Tobers has given it away, and now it's Yeboah driving forward. He goes down at the edge of the box and the referee blows. Free kick coming here for Dunfermline. Again, it's just outside the area, and a yellow card coming for the Latvian.
Yeah, he dwells on the ball again. He doesn't see the threat. Yeboah does well, wins the ball, and then it's a foot race and a muscle contest, and again he's fortunate. It's right on the ball. It's right on the edge. It's tight again. I think it is outside, but it's marginally outside the box. The referee giving the free kick. It's obviously set up. They've had a look at it, and it is outside. But it's very clumsy play from the centre back.
Right, free kick for Dunfermline. There will be a split coming up shortly if you're looking out for Scotland-Ireland in the Six Nations. 2:30, there will be a split frequency on Radio Scotland for that, and the football will continue. On the other one, as McCann takes the free kick, and he's hit it high over the crossbar, and that will be a goal kick to Aberdeen, who are 3-0 up here and heading through to tomorrow's draw, which will be held after the St Mirren Hearts game. The rugby, incidentally, on Extra and on medium wave and on digital. Football, Rangers Queen's Park, will be on BBC Radio Scotland FM and on Sounds. There's a long ball from Doohan, flicked on by Nisbet, and it breaks to Comrie. He goes back to his goalkeeper. Final few seconds here. Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline 0. The supporters around the stadium singing Jimmy Calderwood's name when the draw threw up this tie just after the manager of both these clubs lost his battle with dementia. It was kind of fitting that they were paired with each other. And ultimately what's happened is Aberdeen have taken their place in the quarter-finals, beating Dunfermline 3-0. Pivotal moment just before half-time when Papi Gay headed home anti-Palaversa's free kick. Because up to that point, the Dons, albeit they had loads of the ball, as has been the case in many league games recently, they were doing very little with it. A couple of half chances for Keskinen and Nisbet, but it was Gay who headed home his first goal since he has returned from 4 months out. Alexander Jensen made it 2-0 5 minutes after the restart, before Kevin Nisbet made it 3 5 minutes from the end of the 90. And it is the Dons who go through. Championship Dunfermline are out their long wait to get beyond this stage of the competition will go on. They haven't managed it since they actually beat Aberdeen in 2009 during that campaign. And they will now have to focus on their battle to stay in the championship. There are plenty big games for them to come. And for Aberdeen, they have a cup quarter-final to look forward to. And the draw, as I say, tomorrow evening. We'll see what that throws up for all those sides who are involved in it. Just 2 places left in the Scottish Cup quarter-final draw. They will be claimed this afternoon and tomorrow evening. And for Aberdeen, it's now about focusing on trying to win a league game. 14 matches in the Premiership without a win. They go to Dens next weekend. But for now, they've finished at Pittodrie in the 5th round of the Cup. Aberdeen 3, Dunfermline Athletic 0.
The Scottish Cup.